Yes, people, big up yourselves. I hope everyone's good. We are back with another one. And as you've probably seen by the title of the video, today we're going to be doing the full review on the Inhale Lotus. Now, if you haven't already seen, I did an unboxing video on this vape a little bit ago. This is an actual vape, mate. This is a vape. So, yeah. Crazy. If you haven't already seen that unboxing, you'll see my first impressions. But now this is my full review. This is like my entire experience with this vape so far. As always, there's no medical advice, no legal advice, no other types of advice, mate. I'm some random geezer on the internet hitting record on his phone and just sharing his experience. So don't take it as anything other than that. But I do want to share my experience and give my full review on this vape because I've now had a bit of time to use it. I've gotten around that initial learning curve, and there is definitely a learning curve with this vape. But wow, once you get it right, this thing's incredible. Firstly, the look of it, right? If you ain't already seen it, it's a very basic vape. It's a manual vape, so that means it's battery free. There's no power or anything to it like that. It's just a piece of glass, a piece of metal, a piece of wood, essentially. Let's get it down to its basic form. There's a lot more than that going in there. It's pretty complicated, to be fair. The way they've managed to do this, I think it's amazing. It's 100% convection. So you've got your convection and your conduction vapes, where one of them is hot air that heats up the material, and one of them is the actual area, the oven, the chamber, whatever, getting hot and passing heat through that way. This is 100% convection. So it's flame powered. So that means you're using a lighter, like a jet lighter, like that. If you've got one of these, you can just like adjust the flame length on here. Basically, with it being manual, you can adjust the flame length, adjust your draw strength, adjust how far away you're heating it, how long you're heating it, to suit what you want to get out of the vape. So if you just want to use it for a session for a period of time, then you can do that. Or if you want to just completely extract it in one and done and crack on with your day, you can do that as well. It is literally up to you, but it is a big learning curve to get around that, I must admit, and it is a fun learning curve. But yeah, if you push it too far, you can easily combust with it if you do push it too far, so you have to be careful. But yeah, wow, it's all handmade, this thing. So you've got the first thing you've got is the obvious, the bit that everyone looks at and you think, wow, it's a piece of glass, a J-hook, and this cools it better than you would imagine, honestly. It's made me understand how much better dry bubblers could be, or can be, than with water, because there's no water that you put in here. It's the thing itself, but the vapor's nice and cool that comes out of it. Now, the actual vape itself, you've got this bowl. It probably holds, I want to say, about 0.15, because it's convection. You don't want to pack it dead tightly. It wants to be nice and chunky grind with a lot of aeration in between it, so a loose pack. That is a 14mm adapter on the bottom of that bowl, right? You can pop that into any bubbler. It doesn't have to go through the J-hook, right? But it's brilliant through the J-hook. It's amazing, and you feel like Sherlock Holmes. So give it a go through that. But yeah, you can just use this on any other bubbler. I've used it through the Globe. It's incredible. It's very surprising how good it is. Next part of it is I would say this is the actual vape. This is where a lot of the genius magician stuff goes on. So I'll put it back together though so you can see. It's basically like a piece of wood. This is hand turned. Like, it's a hand turned piece of wood. Like I say, in my opinion, it's a bit of art, mate. Look how amazing it looks. There we go. Get it to focus in. And you've got the stirrer on the side. So most vapes, I don't stir. I'm not going to lie. A lot of them come with stirrers, but it's normally a bit fiddly and a bit of a mess about to stir it. And it's not my ideal way. Now, sometimes you have to, but yeah, it's not something I always do. With this vape, I always stir. And I'll tell you the reason is because of how easy they've made it. Like, it genuinely is the easiest vape to stir out of anything I've ever used. And that's because you're using it like this, and you just pop the lid off between the session, and this stirrer, like that, and then pop the lid back on. Like, it's as easy as that. And for me, that's a big yes, because that increases efficiency. Stirring it does increase efficiency. Normally, with most vapes, you end up spilling a bit everywhere, and it's just super simple with this vape. Now, what actually goes on in there is you've got a mesh, and there's like a heating part into here that you heat. So you're using a flame powered torch, like I say, one of these jet lighters, and you heat the center of the flower, of the lotus flower. So you can see the patina effect on it where it's been heated up and cooled down loads of time. That's what happens with stainless steel. It goes like bluey, yellowy, browny. I think it looks really cool now. It's started to take shape in the middle of the lotus flower, if you like, in the middle of all the petals. It's kind of looking like, yeah, it's pretty sick. Basically, you heat that element up for a couple of seconds, literally 2 seconds, and then you start to draw on it. This is where your draw strength really comes into play. It depends on how you want to use it, what type of draw you want to get out of it, and you know how quick you want it to heat or whatever it is. But you take a nice long slow draw whilst heating it on the top. You're just going in like a circle with the lighter, and then you can just keep going until they say your lungs are about 60% full, and at that point pull the heat away. And it's crazy. It's like you've pulled the carb out of a bubbler and it starts to clear the vapor. So you'll see it as you're using it, just filling up. And it looks really cool as well. I'm not gonna lie, the way it fills up. But then when you pull that heat away, it's as if what you'd expect if you pulled this off and carried on drawing. But you don't have to do that. It just starts drawing in cool air that just continue, or cool down air than what it was before, and it just continues to empty it out. So yeah, about 60% full, your lungs, you're starting to, you get the hang of it. Like I say, there's a learning curve with this thing. But once you dial it in right, what I'll say about this vape is the flavour is incredible. Like, if you're somebody who is interested, some people, I know, they can't even taste, so they're not bothered about flavour, right? But a lot of us can, and a lot of us, if something's got a certain taste, you'll struggle to consume it. So this vape, if you've got something you don't like the taste of, it's not the vape to use, because it amplifies the taste like nothing else. I've used loads of different vapes now, and of course, because it's 100% convection, it's going to do that. Convection has the best flavour, but I've used quite a few 100% convection vapes now. They've all had great flavour, you know, ball vape, a tiny mite, but this thing is in a league of its own. Absolutely in a league of its own. I don't know what it is about how they've done it. There's just something about it. It's incredible flavour. The extraction on it, like I say, if you want to do a sort of one and done, you can do. But no matter how you do it, you will get a very even extraction. I'm not sure how they've managed to get it to be so, as well as even, I would say efficient. It never gets to the point where you feel like you've wasted something when you've tipped it out. One, because you can easily stir it and have another go. But two, I don't know, sometimes the amount that I put in this vape, it feels like I've ground up some to use. I'll put it in this vape and I'll think that's going to be enough for like 2 or 3 bowls or whatever, and I'll be fine. I'll have one, maybe the second, maybe. But after the first one, I'm like, whoa, that's really effective. Like, I don't know what it is about it. They called it hard hitting on the packaging, and I thought, how can you really say that? But no, it is. It's extremely good at what it does, and there's clearly a lot of thought gone into this thing. I don't really know how to put it other than it's a powerhouse, man. It is a powerhouse. But it's also able to just produce flavour at the same time. It doesn't just singe it to a crisp. Once you dial it in right, Now, it is a bit of a mess around to dial in right. And of course, you need to be extremely careful. And as with every vape, you know, they've got their pros, they've got their cons. And I'll be completely honest on what I think the cons are on this vape. I've just been through the pros there, you know. But in terms of the cons, it is glass. So, okay, it's portable, but am I going to be using it everywhere? Probably not, because I am too clumsy to be carrying glass around with me everywhere. Now, they do send this really cool carry case. Now, this is like I'll show you how it works. It's got a slot here for the J hook and the bowl to sit, and then the Lotus head, the vape part, sits there. It's really hard, firm case, so if you dropped it, it'd probably be fine and not break, which is amazing. But I'm not worried about when it's in its case. I'm worried about me using it out and about. Or in the house, there's a lot less, what's the word to say? There's a lot less factors. That's not the word I was thinking of, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot less things that could change than when you're out and about. There's just a lot more that can be going on. And I've personally found, for that reason, this is something I use in the house at home. It is portable, sure, but it's glass, and it's something you have to be careful of. Now, I have heard that there is a wooden pipe that you can get for this. I think that's really cool, and I'd love to try that out. That would mean that you could take it out and about everywhere with you. Now, of course, it's not the most discreet of things either. I don't have to say that though, because like, look at it, it's not discreet, is it? You're going to be sat there with a lighter, a jet lighter, lighting it as you're drawing it. It's not discreet. But that's okay. Like, not every vape has to be, neither's a ball vape, do you know what I mean? Not every vape has to be discreet. You just have to be considerate of that when you're choosing which vape you want. The thing is, if you're not bothered about, you know, the fact that there's glassware with it, and you, like I say, you can replace that with the wood, and you're not bothered about it not being discreet. Other than that, I think this is a bang-on vape. I can't really think of much else negative. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. And they even... So if you want to get one, you can head over to Inhale Vaporizers, use the code Medicated M10, and you'll get yourself 10% off. But they even have factory seconds. So because these are all handmade, they sell ones that it might not come with a case, but you'll get like a random, they make them out of all different types of wood. So it'll be a random type of wood. This, I believe, is the olive. I know I've said it already, but it looks beautiful. Like it's a really, really well made, it's made by someone who cares. Do you know what I mean? You can really tell it shines through. This is so heavy for a little bowl. Like, it's tiny, but like, you can probably see there the weight of it when it's moving. Honestly, if you felt it, you'd be shocked at how heavy it is. For the size of it, you wouldn't think it. But yeah, whatever ingenious magician sorcery is going on in there, it works really well, man. It works really well. I was so impressed with this. Every single time I use it and I come back to it, like I say, it's not something I use every single day, just because I'm not always in the house medicating. You know, it depends what I'm doing, where I am, to whether I'm going to whip this out. But when I do, every single time I'm blown away. The flavour is probably the most standout thing to me about this vape is the flavour. Obviously, you've got the look, you've got all those things, it being handcrafted. I think that's amazing. But how it performs is the flavour. And like I say, secondary to that is the efficiency, how little you use. And you think, is that all I've vaped? You tip it out, and by the end of the night, if you're just using this vape, which I've done many a time, you know, you're watching TV, you're doing whatever you're doing, playing a game, and at the end of the night, you look at what you vaped and you look at how much you ground up for the night, and you've used half of what you were expecting to use, because it's just that powerful, it's that efficient. Yeah, man, honestly, it's great. In terms of cleaning, so easy to clean. You don't need to bother with this. You can brush it if you need to, but nothing really gets dirty on this except for maybe the stirrer. But you can just give that a wipe with alcohol or whatever. Don't dunk it in alcohol or nothing like that. The actual bowl itself, so you can just pop the screen out. There's a screen inside, you can probably see there. You just basically pop the screen out. Oh, it's not focusing, but you just pop the screen out. You can stick it in some alcohol, stick this whole thing in alcohol. You don't need to do it for long either. It doesn't get dirty extremely fast, but the good thing is, it's not like some vapes where you can't see it building up and you're just thinking, why is this not performing very well anymore? You can see it building up, 100% you can see it building up. Especially with it being on this glass J-hook, you'll see the build up. Like, I've just cleaned this, and I've had one go of it just before doing this video, just to give me a little bit of inspiration, basically, of my thoughts on it right before using it. But yeah, like I say, I've used it many a times now, and you can see it doesn't look like there's any build up from that first one, but over time it will build up. Super easy to clean. Once you put that bit in the alcohol, you just, what I do for this, I just put a little bit of alcohol in here, squirt a little bit inside, ISO, and just shake it about, swill it out, hot water through it. Yeah, it's so easy to clean. It's probably one of the quickest to clean vapes out of all of them that I've found anyway, because there's not really anywhere for it to get really caught up in. There's not like, you know, it's not like got like terp pearls or anything for it to all wrap around. Like, this cleans so easy. One thing I would say is I'd recommend getting like some of these little metal brushes, just because brushing it out, it can get hot in that chamber, and you want to brush it out whilst it's still hot so it comes out nice and easy. So you can get these little metal brushes. In fact, there's some going on in the giveaways. If we've not already seen, we've got the giveaways of the Medicated Mates Collective bags. There'll be some included in that, but you can go and get these. They're not too expensive. You can get them online, and it just pays to just brush it out every single bowl you use. Otherwise, that screen, it's so finely meshed in there. I'm sure I can get it to focus. It's so fine, the mesh inside that screen, that it just tends to clog up quick if you don't brush it out. If you brush it out every time, you can keep going and keep going and keep going. But yeah, if you don't keep brushing it out, and you don't want to be using like a nylon brush or any other type of brush that's going to singe or burn on the metal. So yeah, honestly, people. Oh, lastly, that's the other thing to say on it. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. The concentrates pad. So it comes with a concentrates pad. You literally just pop it there inside. You can see like that, and pop your concentrates on top and use it exactly the same way. Flavor's incredible, mate. Honestly, no matter what you put in it, how you use it, it just takes the most out of it. So like I say, if you've got some sort of meds that you're not too happy with because of the way it tastes and you're struggling to use it, it's really not the vape for that. It's really not the vape for that. But if you've got something that's amazing, it's nice and fresh, it's full of terps, the correct moisture levels and stuff, it's gonna be like consuming it all over again for the first time when you put it through this, because it's just that, it stands out, man. It really does stand out. As manual vapes go, I've tried a few now. It is up there with my favourite. To be honest, I'd go as far as to say it's my favourite manual vape that I've tried so far. I've probably tried 4 actual manual vapes, but out of all them, there's just nothing that does the job like this. But as I say, it's the practicality side of it. Some of the other manual vapes I've tried, they're not, you don't have to carry glassware around with you. With this, you have no choice. You need to carry glass. It can be a small piece of glass like what comes with it, but that's just something to consider. Like I say, that being said, it does come in a cool little case. I've just popped it in there so you can see. It just sits nicely in the case. That bit sits over the top. And you can even put your meds or whatnot in the top bit here. I would just keep the concentrate pad and that in there. Little brush, and yeah, man, it's a solid case. Got the little branding on the thing there as well. I think it's a nice touch. They just really care about those nice little touches, and that is, like I say, whether it's how it works or how it looks, they're making sure that all those nice touches have been thought about and done. So yeah, I know a couple of you lot in the community have already gone and got yourself one of these. Whether that's you've won it in the giveaway, big up Chippy Friday, bro. I know you're loving that. You mentioned it to me yourself. Big up Inhale for making that happen as well. Absolute legends. But I know there's a few of you who've gone out and bought one of these since, and you also said, I'm massively impressed and blown away by it. If you do going to get yourself one, go and head over to Inhale Vapes, or Inhale Vaporizers, I should say. Yeah, you can go and check them out, get yourself one ordered, use the code Medicated M10 and you'll get 10% off. Yeah, that's my full review, people. If you want to hear more about it, jump in one of the live streams, come and have a chat, ask me any questions you've got. Also, just drop them in the comments below. Let me know, have you ever used one of these vapes? Is this something you would look at using? Is it something you consider? Is it something you wouldn't consider? And if so, why? Let me know. Write it in the comments below. As always, if you get to this point in the video, drop a 420 in the comments just to let me know. It's interesting to see who gets these far in these videos. I love doing them. It's nice to just sit down, have a chat and talk about my experience of various different things. So yeah, stay tuned for more. If you've not already, make sure you get involved in the giveaway as well. We've got a few things to give away, so go and check out the channel. And yeah, that's it, everyone. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much for watching. Speak to you very soon, and I shall see you on the next video. Take it easy, people. It's been a pleasure. Peace.